How is it going? And happy Monday. I hope you guys are doing better than I was at the end of the week. I was sick. I'm back now. We're here at Esteghlal, and you know what's better than feeling better? Having a bigger wage budget. Yes, that is right. The budgets have come in for the new season, and let me tell you now, Mr. Chairman, £35,000 a week on wages, that could just be enough to make me stay. Yes, folks, how is it going? And a warm welcome back to the Journey Manager. It's episode number 9 here with Esteghlal, and we are rapidly approaching what would be our 3rd season in charge. And I say what would be, because we kind of ended last episode talking about the possible job hunt. And well, bad news, none of the jobs in Saudi Arabia ever got back to me. So we're probably hearing around at least to start the new year. The plan for today's episode, do the transfer window and play the first game of the new season, assuming stuff doesn't happen in between. Now, as already mentioned, the budgets have just been raised inexplicably. I was told that kind of next season's wage budget was going to be £21,000. The budget update came in at the end of the season, and now, well, we have £5,000 to spend on wages, which, granted, some of that is probably going to be needed to use to kind of extend current contracts and build, up, hopefully, longer-term deals for players like Esalami, who I don't really want to see the club lose for nothing, but I'd be lying if I was to say it doesn't tempt me to delve into the transfer market just a little bit. Granted, I am still going to be keeping an eye open for jobs, so today it's not going to kind of be a full-on, all-in transfer special. I do want to start the new season today. Now, saying all of that, it is only the 30th of May right now. The season is not starting for a matter of months, so I'm going to mash continue a little bit, and I'll come back as drama unfolds. Okay, I'll be honest, when I said about the whole new drama stuff, didn't quite mean this kind of drama. There is rumours of a board takeover. Interesting. Look, we've been here before, we've heard it before. We're 2 weeks into the summer transfer window. This does make me feel like I should be getting transfer business done early, just in case a transfer embargo does come in. Saying all of that, right now, there's no dealings in or out going on yet. The transfer window doesn't open for a while, so I've not exactly been in a rush, but maybe this will give me a kick up the arse. Okay, so the transfer window is about to open. It's the end of June now. The rumours persist of a possible takeover. I'm just going to pretend they're not existing. But look at this. Club reputation on the rise. We love to see it. And you'll also note, if I just come to the finances screen, the wage budget spend is looking a little bit different all of a sudden. I have been busy. Oh, and the season takeover date has happened, by the way. We are, of course, still in the Persian Gulf League. Updated season preview of 9th. It's not as good as I want it to be. Now, in terms of the direction I want to take with the team, ideally we bolster the defence, but I'll be honest, I've spent the last 3 weeks and most of the end of last season trying to plan ahead for defensive upgrades. There really just aren't that many out there. I have weighed up the possibility of maybe using a foreign player slot on a defender. Still not completely abandoning that idea, but something that I think has served us well, like you might remember in Bangladesh, was really focusing our foreign player spots on meaningful attacking players. And well, as you can see here, I have got 2 dealings going on at the moment, both actually for domestic players. The first, I love the look of. It is Mohamed Reza Haydari. Yeah, let's be honest, the goalkeeping position last year was interesting. Amala, I'll be honest, he just didn't really perform to his attributes. 4 clean sheets in 29 games wasn't exactly good. He just didn't really perform that well, which is kind of interesting when I compare him against Haydari. Haydari, half as many clean sheets in the league last year, but he was playing for Kia FC. Now, Kia FC are a bit of an academy team, have some really good young players in their ranks, but they were relegated, so they were looking to get rid of Haydari here. And he is the Iranian national team goalie, or at least the goalie of the future. He's already capped for the national team. We are snapping him up, hopefully, for £68,000. He was running down his contract. I could have waited a year to get him, but I just feel like in the goalkeeping department, we need someone who can actually stop one-on-ones. Haydari does that, and if we compare him against Amala, he is a massive, massive upgrade. And also, might free up an international player spot for a foreign player, which would be really nice. And the other man I'm looking to sign is a wide attacking player, Mehdi Goudazi. This guy has not played football in the last year. Yeah, he was released, having played a lot of football and scoring 7 goals in the Iranian Premier League 2 years ago. He has been a free agent for an entire year, and I think I may have even looked at him last year, but he just didn't want to join me. He's got great free kick taking, which is kind of hard to come by in regens. Some really nice physicals. I'm not going to pretend he's the craziest player in the world, but just in terms of a little bit of depth and quality in the wide areas, for a free transfer, I don't think you can go wrong. One issue that we did have last year was goals, and I do like the idea of potentially bringing Gorbanpour back into the kind of goal-scoring fray. If I was going to bring in the new left attacking mid, it might mean Gorbanpour plays through the middle, Hani would then play instead of Sultani, and then Sultani probably just drops down to the bench. I feel like Hani and Abbasi as kind of a centre-mid duo could be really, really good. Granted, I don't really feel like the centre of the midfield is where we lost things last year, but it would just make what was already one of our big strengths an even bigger strength going into next season. I have been looking at players that I can maybe sign on free transfers. Of course, a lot of players' contracts expire around the world at the end of June. There's not been a load of standout options, but I'm going to keep my eye open and see if there's maybe some more similar players that can pop up. It is worth noting the start of the season is only 52 days away, and in that first game of the season, we're taking on the reigning champions. Yeah, not ideal. I have still been keeping an eye open for jobs around the world. I'll be honest, there's not a load that are exactly speaking to me. The Damak job's available. That is a second tier of Saudi Arabia job. They were just relegated. I don't know if I'm going to get that job. I've not actually checked in there if they're in our movement range, but I've kind of applied for that job just to see, will they even give me an interview? And if they do give me an interview, great, then I'll check the map. I just kind of want to know, are we close to maybe being able to get a move over to Saudi? Has also just dawned on me, Hamid Azizi is still at the club. This guy is our highest earner. I've let his contract run down. This was another reason why I wanted to bring in Gudazi, the guy who's run down his contract. He's available for less money as a free agent. Azizi did cut his wage demand slightly. They are still far too high. I'm releasing him. He's good. I say he's good. He wasn't that good for us this year, just gone, was he? I can't justify giving him £2,000 a week. Schalke inquire about the space. I wish they could say they're inquiring about me as a manager, but unlike Damak, the team I applied for, no interest in me, and neither was Schalke. They are interested in Mark. Yeah, Schalke want Mark. They cannot have him, I'm afraid to say. Also, I've just realised his contract is running out. I probably should extend that. I mean, if nothing else, it's just good to know that Mark's getting recognised around the world. Do you reckon if I sold myself as a manager on the idea that it's a package deal with my son, I'd get a better move? I feel like it probably would benefit me. Now, it is mid-July. The board status is updated to in the process of a board takeover. Granted, there's no transfer embargo yet. That's good because I've been trying to get deals done, obviously. And I know what you're thinking, Jack, what deals would they be? Well, first and foremost, Gudazi has joined us. The left winger has signed on £1,300 a week. That is a really, really good contract. Of course, we've lost Azizi, replaced him immediately with a better player, and Haydari has also joined the club. New first-choice goalkeeper. Really, really good player, this guy. He is an upgrade on Amela, who I have been testing the waters with, but no one seems to want to buy him yet, which is a bit unfortunate, because that value is quite high, really. But I do feel like with those two signings, we've strengthened things, and there's a few more signings that have strengthened things too. The first, and, well, another signing from Kia is Ali Vaisi. Yeah, Kia relegated. We've just been plundering their team and stealing all their players. This guy actually got 7 goals from centre mid. Vaisi, I kind of just view as a defensive mid backup. Last year, of course, the go-to defensive mid was Niamsi. To be honest, Vaisi could maybe compete in this part of the pitch to be our new defensive midfielder. Does have the superior physicals, but ultimately a little bit of competition in this area is just quite good. Niamsi had a couple of issues of injuries last year, and the backup defensive mid options I had just weren't really good enough. So that is one issue that I had last year solved. And as for the other signing, this is just one of those peak Football Manager transfers. You know, the agent offers. We've had some weird ones in our times here in Iran. Anton Zorin was offered to me. He was on an amateur deal playing in Russia. And I don't really understand it either, but he's a very, very good player with crazy ratings. I've heard of Belgium amateurs being good in Football Manager and Dutch amateurs. It's the era of the Russian amateurs. Zorin here is absolutely phenomenal out on the right wing. I'm training him to play on the left-hand side just to try and add another kind of trick to his bag of tricks. It'd be good if he could play both sides. This guy signed for us on £1,500 a week as a free transfer. He has crazy physicals, great pace, great determination, doesn't have the best of finishing, so maybe doesn't suit an inverted wide midfielder role, but in terms of just his raw creativity and, well, you can just see it, everything about him, I think he's a really good player and a great use of a foreign player spot. One player who was using a foreign player spot last year was Samir Saeed. This guy could still be good, the 21-year-old, But obviously, with me finding Zorin to play in the wide area, I just felt like Saeed can maybe move on. So we've loaned out Saeed for now. If he develops, amazing. Good news, a lot of his wages are getting covered. We've also loaned out Jafari for the year. Another player is going out on loan, and we're saving all the wages. That's £700 off the wages, which for a player like this, £700 is not cheap. If he develops, it will be quite a good contract. But yeah, we don't have to worry about paying it now. And another man I've decided to loan out is Alipur. Of course, he was the backup right winger for us for a lot of last year, but we're just now having Zorin on the right, and of course the new left attacking midfielder. I just didn't need Alipur. He's on £1,600 a week. No one wanted to sign him permanently. I've got a deal here where, well, all his wages are being covered. Our committed wage spend right now is technically over the wage budget. That is because there is still business being done here. The player I'm thinking about bringing in is Mobin Degan. I do feel like at centre-back, there's room for improvement. I'll be honest, I've agreed to sign this guy for a lot of money. I think it's like £1,600 if he joins us. I already kind of delayed the deal once. £1,200 for a centre-back who I don't know if he'll start. Like, granted, last year's centre-back was an issue for us, but Karga and Garibi, I actually kind of like as a centre-back option. They kind of complement each other nicely. I have looked at the other defenders out there, and there just really isn't anything. Mobin, who we've just discussed the possibility of signing, I don't really rate him. Not for the money I'm paying. I'm going to cancel this deal. We are in full swing of pre-season, by the way. We've just beaten Kia 5-3, having stolen all their players. Load of fixtures coming up. We have Zob Ahan on the opening day. I am experimenting with something like this. I discussed the idea of moving Hani into a centre mid role. I'm now wondering if something like this is maybe an alternative way to play. Big Larry is going to be in the team this year, but looking at Niamsi and Abassi, that could end up being Ali Vasey and Abassi instead if I want to go with Vasey. Do I want to go with Vasey or do I want to go with Niamsi? Who would you pick? I don't know. I kind of like the speed of Vasey, but the technicals and mental edge that Niamsi has is quite nice, especially when it comes to stuff like tackling. Either way, I am going to try out this asymmetric 4-2-3-1 in pre-season and see what becomes of it. Gudazi, the new left winger, will play that kind of more inverted role. Zorin, I think if he plays on the right, will just play as a winger just because it plays to his strength. Admittedly, as I've already talked about, I am training him to play on the left. Also looking to maybe play Mark as an inverted wing-back just to make better use of his overall ability. And then Big Larry is kind of the more conventional overlapping left-back over on the left-hand side. Yeah, am I overcooking? I feel like this is quite a good idea. Anyway, with all the dealings that I've wrapped up, I'll be honest, there's not a lot of wage budget left to be spent. There's not a lot of transfer budget either. I don't think we're going to be making many new signings between now and the start of the year. So I might come back if there's a takeover happening. I might just come back at the start of the season. Yeah, this has been a transfer window of evolution, not revolution. 4 new signings, just sensible signings too. Okay, well, surprise! It's the start of the season. Did a board takeover happen? No, it didn't. Of course it didn't happen. They never happen. I will say the overall balance of the club is looking quite healthy right now. Granted, I think that is largely bolstered by all the season ticket sales that have happened at the start of the year. And I'm excited to confirm that to start the year, I am going to play this experimental system. I ran it through pre-season. It had some good results. Granted, a lot of these games against significantly weaker opposition, but yeah, we've got to give it a go. Yeah, when you're taking on teams like Milad Men Tehran and beating them 15-0, maybe it's not the best way to review my tactics, I'll admit it. But asymmetric's fun, 4-2-3-1s are good, so I'm hoping nothing will go wrong. Now, just looking at the updated season preview, we're up in 7th now, which I think is quite good, especially when you look at the teams above us. A load of these teams predicted, of course, to be in the, the Champions League race. I'm hoping we can keep up with the likes of Paikan and Zob Ahan. But I know that is going to be tough because they have a lot more money than us. And if you were wondering, were there any other transfer dealings that happened in the last month and a half? No. So I'm kind of glad in a weird way we didn't do this as a traditional transfer special because there wouldn't have been anything happen. And, instead we get to play the opening game of the year. Now, just as a little refresher, board expectation for the year is to record a top half finish this season and be competitive in the ASV Cup. I feel like the ASV Cup is perhaps our best chance to gain significant mileage. I am fully aware that winning this league in Iran is going to be a monumental task, especially with the financial kind of discrepancy between our team and the very elite. In a weird way, and perhaps kind of selfishly, I'd kind of like it if one of the Tycoon-owned teams really underperformed to start the year, then I can swoop in and steal their job and save the day, and then maybe build up a load of miles. Anyway, we have strengthened the team this year. You can just see here, we have one of the lowest average ages in the league. Granted, it is covered by my big old head. Just in general, though, the average player wages are low for us. The average player value is one of the lowest in the league in our team. Goalkeeping-wise, we're kind of middle of the pack. I wish our goalkeepers had slightly better kicking, but then again, we do have the instruction to roll it out from the back, so that's a lot less of a concern. Of all the kind of positions in the team, the defence is still the weak point. I really did look at defensive options, but there just wasn't good players out there for affordable wages. Obviously, a lot of the new players I brought in are going to be in the final third with the new goalie, Haydari. I'm hoping that's going to be enough to see us overperform in that regard. But I guess this is where a lot of pressure is going to be put on our team in the midfield and the attack. You can see here we've got really above average teamwork in the league and also very good long shots. I feel like of all the things that you could have above average, that's probably not the best. And in terms of our striking options, we're awful in the air with awful anticipation and not the best off the ball. But actually, in terms of pace, in terms of finishing, one of the better teams. I never know if looking at these comparisons is a good or bad idea. Do you use these much in pre-season? I kind of wish I could compare just first team goalies, for example, but I think it's kind of a nice way to kind of see how we stack up. We are very much a mid-table team. You'll note here, though, mentals, we have the best determination in the league, and that is by design. I really value determination, both in youngsters developing, but also in matches. I think it's really important. And you know what? In terms of technicals, we're not awful either. Granted, we are not stand out at any of these things I've looked at, am I? This year, I need to either be earning some pretty nice miles or looking to find my next job. Right now, there's no jobs available. I did look through the entire summer. Nothing came up. You'd think by the amount I talk about wanting to move clubs, I'm not happy here at Esteghlal. I'm actually really enjoying the challenge of this team, and I'm really happy with the players we've added into the team. It's not been a revolution this year. It's very much been an evolution, but I am conscious of the fact this is a journeyman save game with a purpose and a timeline. So as much as I'm having a lovely, jolly time here, that's not really worth all that much. Anyway, in terms of how we're going to line up for the new year, Gudazi, the new left-sided player, is going to be starting alongside Zorin on the right-hand side. Yes, we are going to see how the Russian right winger will perform. Gudazi on the left-hand side, really, really good player. Kind of shocked he didn't have a team for a whole year. There's forever going to be this weird gap in his career stats where he just didn't play football for a year. I guess he took up painting or something. In terms of the rest of the team, I am going to go with Niamsi to start the year. I think his tackling just edges him over Vasey for me, although there will definitely be room for those two players to fight it out for that position. And in terms of the rest of the team, Hani obviously dropping back from false nine. Gorbadpour, who was our main striking threat in our very first season, he returns to that attacking position. And in terms of the back four, it is the back four that ended last year. Big Larry, I am going to give game time to and hope he can really kick on. Ignore the red arrows here. They do look a little bit scary. This man is the man I'm giving the nod at left back. Sorry to Mokhtari, who was last year's left back. Granted, he is still at the club, so if Big Larry struggles, we can just swap them around. And I guess big pressure today on Haydari in goal. The new goalie, I'm hoping, is going to solve our issues, because let's be honest, last year, goalkeeping-wise, it was woeful. Okay, at home, first game of the year against the reigning champions. Doesn't get much more difficult in terms of home games than this, does it? But we'll see how we fare. They are playing a 4-3-3. Of course, just as a reminder, Zobahan have a lot more money than us, and it really is a crazy amount more money than us. They've got individual players, I think, on more wages than our entire team, but we've got team spirit, we've got vibes, and we've got a few weapons from set pieces that, unlike, well, in other save games I've had in the past, don't seem to be able to hit the target. Garibi, do better. If you were wondering, did I look to do more transfers after that kind of month-and-a-half period where nothing happened? The answer is no. We didn't really have the money for it. I did look at other Iranian players, but kind of players good enough for the Iranian Premier League that I could sign on affordable amounts of money, aka free transfers for us. They just don't really grow on trees. It was one of the reasons why we kind of went afar to sign, Zorin, who's been playing out on the right-hand side, who really did come from nowhere, and so far has done okay. Anyway, Hashemi for them has the ball on this near side. We do need to do some defending here. I've bigged up our newer additions. They need to show it going forward. And in terms of the defence, well, we just need to rely on the old guard and the youngsters to hopefully continue to improve like they did for much of last year. Oh my word. A one-on-one save. I don't think I saw one of them for all of last year. Haydari stops it, and he does look massive in goal. the goalie. Of course, he was relegated last year. Hopefully, he won't be getting relegated with us with saves like that. We've almost survived the first half. I don't know if that's a kind of good way of kind of understanding how I'm approaching this game. I'm referring to drawing at home as surviving. But I do feel like in this kind of game, it is just a battle of survival. We've just got to be in it to win it, then late on try and hit them on the break. It's been a very, very even game here. Possession almost 50-50. Shots almost identical. Granted, our XG is a little bit lower. This year, I have changed up the instructions and kind of tried to simplify things a little bit more. I'm going to ask the players to get a little bit more direct in this second half, I think. But yeah, we're not going as crazy looking for underlaps and overlaps and trying to run the ball into the box and dribble at the opposition defence. Nah, it's back to basics. I'm hoping it's going to serve us well. So far in this game, it kind of is. There's already only 25 minutes left here. Okay, Mortazavi, I'm going to bring into the team. One of our main mans last year. He is going to come in for Gudazi out on the left-hand side. Ali Vasey, I'm going to bring in for Niamsi just for fresh legs in the midfield. And Yaramadi, you know what? Gorbanpour's not scored. Yaramadi, I'm giving you the chance with your 16 finishing and 16 composure. Score for us today. Last year he got 2 goals across 10 games. They both came in live commentaries. It'd be amazing if he could score here, wouldn't it? It'd be amazing if we could hold on for a draw here, in all honesty. We've got a set piece. It's whipped in. Vasey on his debut. Right, he's starting the next game. Sorry, Niamsi. The defensive mid scores a set piece. What a header that is. And having struggled to buy a win against the big dogs whenever we came back and did live commentaries last year, we're ahead against the reigning champions. Right, I'm going to praise the players here. We're a goal up. Give me the green, happy, smiley faces on my word. Big Larry throw in. Imagine if we get another Big Larry. There's options, son. Vasey, the main man. Mortazavi, the subs linking up. Mortazavi looking for space. Finds, literally marked the space. Zorin inside. Forces a save out the keeper. 7 minutes left plus any added time to hold on here. They have gone to a 4-2-4. They are going for this now. They're going to leave themselves outnumbered in the midfield. We launch the ball forward towards Hani. Doesn't quite find its intended target. And now Habibi bringing it forward for them. They've got talent. They've got ability. They've not shown it really in this game. And well, I thought they were going to be creating something, but suddenly we've ended up with possession yet again. Mortazavi wide to Zorin. He's been running the show out on the right-hand side. Uses his pace well, the winger. Inside, tries to pick out Abassi. Cleared away. Mark needs to get back in position. Do that he shall, although that is a big ball over the top. Mardani, one-on-one, drifts wide and squeezes it into the near post. That was one of our issues last year, one-on-ones. And I'll be honest, when I saw the attacker run away from goal, I thought we were going to be okay. I thought we were going to get away with it. Mardani picks it up here. This touch here, I thought we were safe. Haidari beaten in the near post. Not ideal. They've reverted back to their 4-3-3. If they'd stayed on the attack, I was going to change things up. Don't get me wrong. A draw here would be a great result, and it is going to be a great result. You can't help but feel like that is 2 points dropped, albeit against the reigning champions. New signings look good in this game. If I'm going to find a positive, that is the positive I'm going to take. I mean, technically we're in the Asian Champions League spots on alphabetical order, but that is not the point. The transfer window, by the way, is still technically open for the next week. I don't think there's going to be any dealings between now and the end of the year. In terms of wage budget, in fact, I've got £80 free. That doesn't go very far, does it? But in terms of opening games of the year with this new tactic, that felt positive-ish. Maybe I'm looking at it through rose-tinted glasses, because we did only score from a kind of set piece. But in terms of defensively, we didn't give up a lot against the reigning champions, who, just as a reminder, absolutely ran away with the league last year. Yeah, look, they finished 13 points clear. They only lost 2 games all year. We pushed them hard. Makes it a bit more annoying that we couldn't get a result over the line. Also, if you got until the end of the video, I will let you into a little secret that I hope doesn't ruin the magic of today's video. All the bits bar this live commentary bit were recorded kind of all on the same day, but I actually played through pre-season while I was ill. That was one of the reasons why there was the recappy style and stuff. I was actually loading up save games that I'd made as I went, just catching up on what happened. Does that ruin the magic? Should this be kept in the video? I don't know. Keep the secret. Don't reveal it in the comments. Anyway, folks, really good start to things here in Esteghlal. Really sorry again, there wasn't videos at the end of last week. I was just under the weather. I got to mention, I think, at the end of Wednesday's video, I wasn't feeling the best. We're still on the road to recovery, but, well, you know what? That result there makes me feel a darn sight better. If all goes to plan, there will be daily videos throughout this week. I hope to see you guys tomorrow on the next one. Thank you for watching, as always. It's me, Jack, and I'll talk to you in a bit. I'm out.